Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson. A new children's book is helping kids see life in a different way by inspiring them to be themselves in any environment. Joining us to talk about Just a Worm is the author and the illustrator, Marie Boyd. Marie, welcome.
Thank you for having me on the show.
So, what was the inspiration for the book?
Well, when my son was younger, we used to like to take walks around the neighborhood. And whenever it had been raining and there were worms on the sidewalk, he'd get really upset. And one day I told him they're just worms. And then I started thinking about, what would a worm feel if it could hear me and understand my words? And that question led to the book, Just a Worm.
And I love the idea behind the title, obviously inspired by your son. What broader lessons or perspectives does the story aim to impart about nature and the world around us?
Yeah, so in the book, after hearing a kid say that the worm is just a worm, the worm sets off through the garden and encounters a number of other garden creatures, which the worm compares themselves to. And so it has both science messages and teaches kids about different garden creatures, but the broader message that I'm really hoping that readers will take from this is I think that we've all probably at some point compared ourselves to someone else and felt like we've fallen short. And my hope is that the book will encourage readers to think about what they can contribute to their families and schools and communities, because we all have something to contribute.
Why is it so important for kids to learn this interconnectedness when we seem like so disconnected in this current world with social media and our phones and tablets and screens?
Well, I think it's really important for children in order to help them find their place in the world, and also to understand that they can make a difference, that they have the power to change their families and do good things for their families and their schools and their communities.
How do the visual elements you created for the book help the story? And the illustrations are gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. So I made the illustrations using a cut paper technique called quilling. And I was inspired by plants in my garden and my parents' garden. And so all of the illustrations I made out of narrow pieces of paper that I curled and coiled and glued to make the illustrations. And so I really was trying to capture some of the beauty of a garden.
It's absolutely stunning, Marie. What would you like kids and even adults to take away from reading this book?
So I really hope that the book will help kids and adults have conversations about the ways that they can contribute and to inspire them to be creative and find things that they can make it. There's a craft in the back of the book. So I would also be thrilled if readers tried their hand at quilling.
I love this. You're also a terrific example of a life balance because you're a mom, you're an author, you're a law professor, and married to politics. How do you do it all?
Well, one of the things that was really important to me and is really important to me is art and creativity. And so even when I don't have a lot of time, I try to carve out a few minutes that I can spend writing or making art.
Marie, it's been terrific talking to you. For more information on Just a Worm, you can head over to marieboyd.com. It's a beautiful book. We inspire everybody to get it. Marie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on the show.
All right.